So we're just going to go ahead and get right into it and play a couple of videos and show you guys the nitty-gritty.
A Palm Beach County school administrator accused of stealing COVID-19 relief money is now charged with grand theft and organized fraud. The school district tells us Yarnell Williams is now on administrative leave following her arrest. Palm Beach County deputies say back in 2020, Williams completed the unemployment application for her friend who asked for her help. The victim says William told him the state denied his benefits, so he would not receive any money. But years later, the victim contacted investigators after receiving a letter from the IRS claiming he owed taxes. Deputies say his application was actually accepted and the money was deposited onto an unemployment insurance card. Palm Beach County deputies say records show Williams used the card to make purchases during a birthday trip in New Orleans.
According to the arrest report, the woman charged with grand theft and organized fraud of a man's unemployment benefits is an administrator here at Washington Elementary in Riviera Beach.
I would never think that she would do anything like that, being that we were friends so long.
Antonio Thompson is still shaken by what happened 4 years ago. He worked at a bouncer at local bars, and then COVID hit and closed them down.
I needed money, I was out of work, so I tried to do unemployment.
That's when he says he turned to his friend, school administrator Yarnell Williams, for help filling out unemployment benefits applications. A couple of months later, he says she gave him some bad news.
Oh, you got denied.
That led to several weeks without an income. Then earlier this year, we received a letter from the IRS. It claimed he owed $1,600 in taxes and income from payments from the federal Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Program.
Hey, I never received it. So I started doing a little research.
Antonio Thompson says the IRS showed some of the money from his unemployment debit card was spent in New Orleans. Then he said he looked on Yarnell Williams' Facebook page.
And at that time that card was used, she was in New Orleans, spinning it up, having a ball.
All right, guys, so those are the videos from the news stories that were ran the mid to end of last year. And here we've got some highlights of those clips here up on screen to show you guys. Yarnell was in fact charged and pled guilty to both counts in these cases. She's currently on felony probation for 36 months, and we'll dig deeper into all of this. Here's a highlight from Palm Beach Prep Charter Academy, June 18th. We are thrilled to announce that Ms. Yarnell Williams has been promoted to Assistant Principal of Palm Beach Preparatory Charter Academy. So here are the public records of these charges. And although adjudication has been withheld, that obviously is contingent on the completion of the terms of the probation. Now, she was sentenced to 36 months of probation January 15th, 2025. The original offense date on this charge was July 6, 2020. So 5 years ago, she committed this, and it caught up with her about 4 years later. On January 15th of this year, she took the plea deal for probation. And the same goes with the other count. Count 1, grand theft, was no process. They dropped that charge. But on the organized scheme to defraud, she was adjudicated guilty as well. This one, she took another probation sentence to run concurrent for 36 months. With the first case, and these are her court costs associated with the charges. Now, as you see, there's been no payments made. Okay, she's on a monthly payment plan since January. Supposed to be paying these. Court records show that she is delinquent on her court costs and her restitution. It is also shown that she has had a notice for a driver's license suspension issued in the past few weeks. We'll bring these back up for you. And what we have here is the plea conference transcripts, and all these are public records. You can go on the clerk of the court's website and pull these PDFs and read everything yourself, but we're just going to kind of scroll through here and show you some of what we've got here. This is a 22-page document. These are all the transcripts from the plea bargain. You see there's an order of probation. And here's the delinquency notice. This was issued on March 6th. This letter is a formal notification that you have failed to pay the fines, costs in accordance with the court order dated August 16, 2024. This is one of them. Your community service hours were returned upon review of your recently submitted community service hours. It's been determined that the document does not meet the statutory requirements as described in Florida statutes. As such, the submitted hours have not been applied against your outstanding court fees. All right, jump back over here for you guys. These are the Florida statutes regarding education. Now, so that we can dig a little bit deeper into this, let's just jump back over here real quick. To dig a little bit deeper into this, from the videos as you see, Yarnell Williams formerly worked at Washington Elementary School. She was an administrator in that school. During the time of her arrest, she was put on administrative leave. And between then and now, she was somehow quietly moved from inside the district internally over to this charter school. Now, we've been doing a lot of investigating over the past couple months, and things have been unfolding rapidly, more and more every day. We've been getting tips, public records, just things adding up and adding up. What we've discovered here, and what it appears to be, is a very tight-knit circle inside the district that is shielding and protecting these employees. Our investigations have uncovered a lot of bizarre turn-ups. We've been connecting the dots and seeing which players are intertwined with others. And there's definitely a lot of corruption going on inside of the school system, and we're here to demand accountability and to provide transparency for the public. Okay? We depend on these people who are watching our children day in and day out, 180 days a year, to protect and nurture and teach them morals and values and good character. Sadly, our children aren't getting that. Every month in the district, there seems to be some sort of new arrest, whether it be to issues closely related to this particular case, or it be child predators. And it's very disturbing. We don't feel that our children are safe anymore in these schools. And we call for reform. We need change, and we need it quick. Okay. Everybody makes mistakes in life. Everybody can learn, everybody can change, everybody can grow. However, 6 months is not enough time to grow, especially when you're still on felony probation, you're delinquent on your fees, your restitution, your community service, and you have a notice of suspension for your driver's license because of that. This is not values that you want to instill on children. These are not role models that our youth are supposed to be looking up to. Okay. I believe in reform. I've made my share of mistakes in the past. I'm no angel, but I have changed. I've worked hard, and I've made sure not to fall back on those wrong ways. There's a difference between making a mistake and doing wrong or continuing to do wrong. The system is an ugly one. Nobody wants to be caught up in it. And I understand. I understand the ramifications that can come with that. But let's be real here. You did the crime. You pled guilty to the crime. Now you have to do your time. That time is probation. That time is fees and restitution and paying back a debt to society. What makes this even more shocking is that the person the fraud was committed against was supposed to be a close family friend that's known her and relied on her for help. Somebody who's supposed to be a role model and a leader in the community and a leader to our children took advantage of somebody who considered her a longtime friend. Let that sink in. Let that really sink in with you. If she can do this to somebody that she has that type of personal relationship with, why couldn't she do it to us or our children or the schools themselves? Fraud, organized fraud or organized schemes to defraud are serious crimes. They hurt real people and they hurt the taxpayers. The taxpayers are the ones that foot these bills. We're the ones that pay your salaries. And we expect trustworthy, reliable people to show up for the job. The fact that this charter school hired her despite the open felony probation makes you wonder how the background vetting process took place. Did it? Did it take place? It doesn't seem like this case was properly vetted. And that's what I have up on screen are the statutes that go hand in hand with this. And as you can see, I think this is the wrong one. We can go back. Okay, yep, chapter 1012, this is where we are. But this is the Early Learning Education Code, and these are the standards. You guys can go look this up on the state of Florida, legal.state.fl.us. And these are the 2024 statutes, including the 2025 Special Session C. It says that a person is ineligible for educator certificate or employment in any position that requires direct contact with students if a district school system, charter school, or private school that participates in state scholarship programs under Chapter 1002. If a person is on the disqualification list mandated by the department under Statutes 1001.10(4)b, is registered as a sex offender as described in 42 U.S.C. 9858F, is ineligible based on a security background investigation under 435.04, beginning January 1st, 2025 or later dates as determined by the Agency for Healthcare Administration. The Agency for Healthcare Administration shall determine the eligibility of employees in any position that requires direct contact with students in a district school system, a charter school, or a private school that participates in state scholarship programs under Chapter 1002. And in this section, 435.07, it talks about exemptions. They would be ineligible for an exemption under this statute. Okay. You guys got to go in here and read these. I'm not going to dig out every part of this. I didn't prepare much time for this evening's discussion, but I wanted to get on here and give you guys a quick overview of what's really going on. But you can go in and read these statutes for yourself. The screening standards, all employees required by law to be screened under this section and persons with an affiliation with the qualified entity to whom the qualified entity chooses to conduct screening under 943.0542 must undergo security background investigations as a condition of employment, and continued employment, which includes but is not limited to fingerprinting for statewide criminal history record checks through the Department of Law Enforcement, national criminal history records checks through the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and local criminal record checks through the local law enforcement agencies. A security background investigation under this section also includes a search of the sexual predator and sexual offender registries of any state in which the current or prospective employee resides during the immediate preceding 5 years. Okay, so there's a lot of different requirements. There are some eligibilities for exclusion. But the big part is this doesn't qualify. Fraud does not qualify under any of those exclusions. In fact, that statute states that an employee shall not be eligible for employment until 3 years after the completion of all sentencing provisions. She has 3 years probation starting from January 2025. If successfully completed, now there are stipulations for early termination if all restitution and everything is paid off before the end of probation period. However, that 3 years would be January 2028. It would be 3 years from that point of time, once that probation is completed, that she would then again be eligible for employment directly related to the functions of students. We need to stand up, we need to speak up, we need to hold them accountable. It seems like there's much bigger things taking place here. She went from being on administrative leave after her arrest to quietly stepping into an assistant principal position. The public records will show if a new background screen was conducted, we're going to look into any recommendations for this position and get to the bottom of who's tied to this, because it appears what's happening are employees are getting in trouble and they're flying under the radar. Now, you guys remember not too long ago, Dr. Murray was driving on a suspended driver's license to school. That was discovered via public records. It was reported to the Palm Beach County School District Police. Police Chief Sarah Mooney said that this was not a police matter. She brushed it off and ignored it. She failed to do her duties. She swore an oath to uphold the Constitution, and she refused to act upon a criminal act on school grounds. Now, we filed a complaint for that, and Internal Affairs exonerated her from doing any wrong. Well, let's face it. She did do something wrong. She failed to act upon a criminal act on school grounds. We want to hold them accountable. We want to hold each and every one of these people accountable. And we've started exposing this network one by one by one. We're finding the players. We're connecting the dots. And we're mapping out one by one who's involved. I've got a lot of response from the community, a lot of feedback from district employees, former employees, community members that have shined a lot of light on some of these things we're bringing attention to. And we couldn't do it without the help of y'all. I know a lot of you are scared to stand up and speak out in fear of retaliation. They've already retaliated against me. They've already stonewalled me. They've already sent legal threats. We've already beat court cases against them. We're not scared. We're backed by the truth, and we're backed with the determination to protect these children and protect these families in our community. We're not going to let you guys sit back, steal the taxpayers' money, and run a ring of corruption underneath our noses. The time's over. The gig is up. We're here to hold you accountable. We're here to expose what's really going on inside of the school systems. I'm doing this for y'all. I'm doing this for my children as well. But we don't run and we're not scared. You pushed us to your own exposure. When you didn't take our complaint serious of what was happening to our children in these schools, and you ignored us, and you deflected us, and you covered up for the ones that were out here actually doing wrong to protect your reputation and protect your image, you pushed us to stand up for ourselves. You pushed us to fight back. And the best part is darkness can't hide in the dark for too long. The truth always comes out, and it's unfolding right in front of your very eyes. I want each and every one of you that are watching this video to know that we're here to interrupt the corrupt. Corruption interruption is who we are. It's what we do. Hang our picture up on every wall. Send a memo to every department and let them know the public is watching and we're holding you accountable. This is just the beginning. People are coming out of the masses. They're waking up. They're tired of what's going on. They're tired of being pushed around. They're tired of being treated the way that you're treating us. I appreciate every one of you watching, listening, tuning in, sending tips, giving us encouragement. Like I said, we couldn't do this without you, and we do it because of you and for you, and we're going to continue it. We've got a lot of behind-the-scenes players. I'm just the face of it. Get used to seeing us, get used to being watched, and get used to being held accountable. It's a new day and a new age. We've got a couple weeks until the start of school. We want to make sure when school starts that our kids are protected and they're taken care of, and they're in the hands of responsible, caring individuals. You guys need to get it together in the district, in these schools. It's pitiful. I know there's a shortage of staff, but you need to do a better job at vetting who you're hiring. These children are impressionable. We're responsible for shaping their minds and leading them into good choices. And when you put individuals like this in positions directly affecting those children, not only the children, but the staff under them, the staff that's expected to look up to a leader, how can you trust somebody who defrauded a family friend, who defrauded the taxpayers, who fooled us all? If it can happen to him, it can happen to any one of us. We're going to start doing some audits, countywide, statewide. We're going deep. We're recruiting. We're building up. We're getting stronger. Like I said, this is just the beginning. I'm going to leave you all with that tonight. We're going to pick up some more and continue as soon as we get some more public records requests. We get some more things finalized. We'll continue pushing the story and keeping you updated. But we call for Palm Beach Prep Charter Academy to answer our questions. Who hired her? Where's the background check? Where's the accountability? This makes you guys look really bad. Somebody didn't do their due diligence, or they neglected to do their job. It can only be one of the two.